Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Nurturing Astrology podcast. I'm Dominique Jaramillo, your astrologer and host. I believe astrology can fast-track personal growth, improve relationships, and empower parents. On this show, I will bring you practical guidance and insight from my own work, studies, and life experiences, as well as interview experts to bring you stellar wisdom from other teachers and professionals to inspire you on your journey. I'm so glad you're here and thanks for tuning in. So sit back, enjoy the show, and be sure to follow, like, and subscribe to catch every new episode as soon as it drops. Your shares and reviews are also much appreciated to help more people benefit from nurturing astrology. Okay, let's dive into today's show. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Nurturing Astrology podcast. I'm Dominique Jaramillo, your astrologer and host. And today I am so excited to have Tara Kinden here for another insightful interview. Tara is the CEO and founder of WorthCamp and the creator of the Witch and Wick candle company. She's a dear friend of mine, and she's a wife, a mama, a multifaceted entrepreneur, and with over 20 years of leadership experience. She is a leader in self-worth and transformation for women. And using the power of astrology, human design, and the Venusstarpoint, she helps women unlock and unleash their magnetism, their passion, their creativity, and their ability to trust themselves and know who they are energetically and how to create their lives and live from that place. She's become a dear, wonderful friend of mine, and I can't wait to dive in and share with you all the new and amazing things she's doing. So let's dive in and chat with Tara. Hi, Tara, and welcome.
Hello, gorgeous. Thank you for having me.
Of course. I did a little preview, a little intro, just a little bit about you, just for people who don't know you. But you and I have been friends for a couple years now. I was looking back 2 years. We met during the pandemic. Yeah, you came to me for an astrology reading, and then I found out you did human design, and we became best buds, and we've developed such a great friendship, and we've never even met. Like, I adore you. We are like
in the flesh.
In the flesh. We never met in the flesh. Yeah. And over the last couple of years, so many of us are going through such huge transformation and growth and like forced change because of the world around us. And I know you and I have really helped each other stay grounded, stay in alignment, stay in our truth. I mean, so many great things. And I realize it's your work, worth and helping women step into their power is your work in the world. And you've gone through your own journey and transformation, huge in the last couple of years. And now you're at this place where you really feel in alignment and are doing some really amazing things. And I want you to share about your journey and where you are now and what you're doing now.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot to unpack so quickly, but let's just dive in because that's what we do when we have conversations. We just go all in real deep, real quick. So, the last couple of years, like I have been an entrepreneur since I was 18. So I've always done my own thing, had my own business and, trying all the things all the time. And I've not ever fit in the box, the proverbial box. Mm-hmm. I've always tried to think outside of the box or create in ways that was very different. And I came up with so much resistance, like from people for being in that way, and I know a lot of other creative people who also feel the same sense of frustration. And you were, an actor and doing all the things. And that's a very creative industry to be in. And people love to say to us, well, it's time to get a real job now, or
I don't know where to put you. You don't fit here. You don't fit there. And I'm like, it's acting. Like I play roles. Like, what do you mean I don't fit? And then I realized I don't fit in this business is where I don't fit, But
it's not consistent. The income was always, it's not always going to be consistent. Like, yes, for some people it will be, but, for most people it won't be. And when that's the case, you struggle for all the things like to get a mortgage, when you tell your a potential partner, you're an actor or whatever it is, they're like,
or an astrologer.
Oh yeah, even better. So, I've really overcome that. It's funny because funny, not funny, the pandemic took us down and out and really pivoted what I was already in the process of pivoting into, which was more of an online presence and online business, because, since I had my son, I couldn't be doing as many in-person things because he was with me all the time. So it was since 2017, I really pivoted online and tried to, build a coaching business, a mentorship business, events, and all the things. But once the pandemic hit, everything just kind of went away. It just went away and everything changed as to what my focus was. And during that time when we couldn't go anywhere or see anyone or do anything, I did the only thing I knew what to do, which was be more creative. So I got really deep into gardening. I got into wire sculpture. I revisited all the things that really turned me on before, hoping that, that creative flow, which is, as a manifestor, I have this internal nonverbal creative flow, and I got to follow the urges when they come, because it's, how I stay in direct alignment with my best self or my highest version of self. So that's what I did. I got super creative. I started making candles, which I had never done before. I started, I loved candles. I'm a candle nut. And I thought, well, I can do this. It'd be that difficult. There's a couple of YouTube videos out there for that. And then I also did, I was doing wire sculpture, and I got into making bath bombs. And the first bath bombs I made literally looked like, I'm not even sure how to say that on camera. It didn't look pretty. It blew up, and it was this really turdly looking thing. So, that's where my focus really went into, was creating luxury products that I could ship to people that would make them feel comforted, that would make them feel connected to cosmic power, something really energized,
Yeah, because the energy, the astrology and the human design, us constantly talking about that every day, was the thing that helped us get through it, was just looking for, okay, why are these things happening? What is the energy of the time? And I felt like we were always looking at that, and it helped us tune in. And then you were doing these candles, and we were tuning into the energies and really trusting that we were on this divine path. Trusting. How many times did we say, let's trust divine timing and keep moving?
But in that, every time we had a conversation, I was like, when will this be over?
And
that was my constant question. When will this be over? When will we get to the other side? And the reality, I've come to understand, is we're never on the other side. There's always something else coming. So you can't think, oh, well, I won't start this thing, or I won't do this thing until we're through this, until we're through that, until Mercury retrograde ends. It never ends. So it's just whatever. I'm going to go all in on creativity and feeling all the feels and trying to navigate it with, as much grace as possible. But I'm not going to wait until the perfect time, because there will never be that perfect time.
I think that's a huge lesson that we're learning through this time, is that to really live in your truth, share your joy, be in your joy, because you don't know. We're really being forced to live in the uncertainty, right? It's how to be comfortable in the uncomfortable of not knowing what's next. And so really living from our truth every single day and in our joy every single day is all you can do, because all we have is the now, right? So it really forces us back into that place of the moment. Live in the moment, be happy, find the joy in everything that you do, and create what brings you more joy and is aligned with your energy.
And no matter how messy.
No matter how messy.
No matter how messy you are or how messy the thing is, who cares? Just throw it at the wall and see what happens, because it's there is this big, huge shift I feel happening in people's receptivity to nouveau things, whether it's just something old that's been reworked, or it's something completely brand new and very Uranus, a little off the wall, very marching to its own beat. Now is our time. For those of us who always, had that identity, oh, I got to get a real job, or I'm not going to fit into the box. I'm not going to fit into society or the system. The ones of us who have always kind of bucked the system and been that doesn't work for me. It works for some people, and yay to them. I'm so happy that it works for them and they've rocked the system. But for those of us who have had this, like, it never worked for me kind of energy,
yeah,
this is our time.
Absolutely.
It's our time, because we're the ones who are like, yeah, I'm okay if it all falls apart. Like, I could always be a dishwasher, meanwhile, like, even that went sideways. You couldn't even be a dishwasher. So I was like, ooh, I got to find a new line. Like, what will I do if it all completely unravels? I will be a creative. That's what I will do,
Yeah, absolutely. You were a huge creative. And I know that even like Saturn, you have Venus in Aquarius. So you are this like amazing creator of all the unique things and helping women step into their unique creativity and whatever that is for them. And your passion has been, helping and serving women and helping women know their worth and their power. I know in the last 2 years, you have been such a great, support in me, helping me do that for myself and stepping into all these things that used to scare the shit out of me. Well, still kind of do sometimes, but doing them anyway, right?
I mean, what's the worst thing that happens?
Yeah.
Like, what's the worst thing that happens? I mean, I know we're going to go off topic a little bit here, but even just thinking about how much you've been able to, you've reached out to some of the biggest astrologers and the most popular astrologers out there who have been like, yeah, Dom, I'm totally going to go on your podcast. I mean, this is the kind of energy, there's a gateway open for us all now to say, what have I always wanted to do that I've been absolutely terrified to do because it won't work.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't work in the old time, the old way. But
we're not trusting yourself or believing your worth, that having happened to you, or living in comparison, oh, everybody has a podcast, everybody's talking, you know what I mean? And realizing, and the more I watch and the more I learn, I'm like, well, everybody has their unique perspective. And so do I. Right. So it was more about, again, aligning with who I am and my unique perspective and my unique voice and my unique way of seeing the world, and how I can share that with my community, or ask different questions or unique questions, or have a conversation that brings a spark of nugget that helps somebody along their path, and I think, we've tried to do some things together too. And because we've really found this great way of supporting each other, and a way to be there for each other. And we've tried to how can we create a space for this, and how can you create a space for this? This is your jam, that's my jam, and finding out what is me and what is you. And I think it seems like you've really come to a place where the kind of space you want to create for women, and you are bringing that all into fruition now. So tell us about your new group, the space, who it's for, and what you're doing now.
So there's a multitude of things, but the one that's on the table up for offer at the moment is the Celestial Box. And this was something that has seen many iterations. And I feel like this iteration is the most beautiful one for where we are in the world. There is nothing else of its kind like it. And it is a quarterly box. But when I created products, I wanted to create them with this deep sense of luxury and opulence. And that when you opened it, it's almost like your breath got taken away, because you could feel the energy and the frequency coming out of it and being like, oh yeah, this was a really good purchase, So what it comes with is 3 months of candles. So I created a zodiac collection called the what is it called? The Celestial Collection. There's too many celestial things going on right now. But it's the Celestial Collection, and in it is every sign of the zodiac. And what I wanted to do to take it deeper, you can just buy the candles and you will love them, and they will do everything that you thought they would do for you. But for those who were I want to know more about the energy of this month and how I can really work with the manifestation process, and not in your typical manifestation style, but in the style of deep creativity, entrepreneurship, whether you're an aspiring entrepreneur, or you're a new one or an old one, or it doesn't matter where you are on the scale of that. But it's I think everyone should have a business. I really do. I think it's the only way to save yourself from this cluster foodle we find ourselves in. But anyways, you'll get a candle for the month, for the quarter. So it'll be these 3 candles for that particular quarter. So right now we're Libra, Scorpio, Sag. Okay. So you get those candles, and I'll just show you, this is actually Taurus, but So this is Taurus, and like they're just
beautiful.
divine and delicious and, very Venus, because I'm so Venus ruled that it's a big thing that all the products feel hot and like literally burn hot. But anyway, so you get those, you get a full moon candle, you'll get my Fizzle My Shizzle bath bombs, which are like the optimal way to cleanse and clear your aura. And you could use them all at once. You can use them once a month. You use them however you desire to use them. But what it does is like helps you feel that dewy, glowy radiance, but it cleanses, it fizzles your shizzle. So when you're feeling like, it just helps bring you back down into earth, Yeah. I also feel like a lot of creative people just feel like they're not from this planet. So it kind of helps bring them back into like, oh yeah, I'm here. I can do this
be
thing.
here now.
Be here now. Be happy now. And then it also comes with this opportunity to be in connection and collaboration with other people through the membership portal. So I created it's called the Celestial Club because everything is celestial, friends. And it's, where you can connect with the other people, women who have said yes to the box. So they get the box, they go through the box, we do the things. But in the membership site, in this community, it's a private space for you to share. Like, I'm going through this, I'm having these wins, like whatever you want, but there's also going to be activations. So, we have a lot of cosmic things coming up, especially with the astrology, with big Venusstarpoint happening in Libra, which hasn't happened for over 100 years, ruled by Venus. And it's going to be such a shift in divine feminine energy, connection, collaboration, all the things. So it's a space for you to create those bonds with, women and any group I've created before. They're friends forever. They're still friends. And that's the best part. I'm not in there to run this group. Okay. Like, even though you may, it's going to be run and it's going to be structured and it's going to be all the things. The reason you don't get like this is going to be this, and this, and this is because I know it needs to be energetically driven. I know that it will be organic in the way, like who shows up will be how the group gets run, because I want it to be like in real time, in real life, of like, okay, here's who's in here. I can feel that they need more of this. But then I just can do that in the instant instead of saying like, oh, we're stuck to this structure. That's the old way of doing it anyway. And I will never do that. I suck at saying like, I'm going to show up every Tuesday at 9 a.m. Like, it's just not my nature to do that. Yeah. So it would be like, I would be lying if I said that this is how, it's going to go exactly like this. Yeah. I can't. But it will be even more magical than you could ever imagine. And you will always feel so welcome, so warm, and just like supported in your cosmic process. Yeah. But then, Dom and I have found Voxer. And for those of you who are like Voxer virgins, it is a thing. It's like walkie-talkies for adults. And it is the most fun way to communicate, especially and I think it's any type, whether you're projector, manifesting generator, all of the types, especially projectors, though, because they really love to talk. But, you can just bladder on the way, whatever. And it's real time. So if you get into this private channel that we're going to have, which is like on top of the membership, right? Because sometimes you get a question right away. You're like, okay, I'm experiencing this. What's transiting right now? Like, and it's a really quick way to drop your question. And for me to go in when it's like, I'm in the vibes and I'm ready to answer all the questions. I go in a couple times a week and I'm answering them right away. And it just feels like, oh, she sees me. She got it. Yeah. Like, and you get that confirmation or whatever it is you're looking for, you will get it. And if I don't answer it, I'm sure somebody else will show up to do it for you in the media. Because some people are like,
yes.
And it just gives you that place to land. So anyways, this is what it is. It's called the Celestial Box, and it includes all of these juicy goodies. It's like an epic experience that you cannot find anywhere else. Like, I don't know of one anyways. Maybe there is, but nothing like this, friends.
So let me summarize. So you first, you sign up for the Celestial Box and you get this beautiful package with these beautiful candles and all of these luxury items that are key for the quarter, for the 3 months of the astrology that you're working within. And with that, you get a membership to the Celestial Club, where you are in a space in a community with others who have bought the box, and you'll be sharing sort of the astrology and the energy of the month, working with them, answering questions, and creating a community.
And human design. I know we didn't really, we talked more about the astrology, but there's like the other element that I bring to the table is, you know, the Venusstarpoint and the human design. So it's this trifecta. Like there's 3 layers here that just takes you to this new level of your energy and the experience you have of really getting to know yourself. Because Dom and I laugh about this all the time. And I say, like, you know, the astrology is the foundation. So if you think about a house, it's the foundation and the frame. It's the basics, the bones. And then it's, you can't change it. It is what it is. This is what you got to work with. How are you going to make it even better? Yeah. And then you've got the human design set on top of it, which is like, I want to paint my house this colors. This is the energy of how you move through. I put my furniture here. I set it up so I flow through it this way. And then you get to know, like, oh, I moved this couch a little bit over, so I stop bumping into it every day. Like I stop having that problem every day, or that, you know, bruise every day. And then when you think about your Venusstarpoint, it's like the crown and glory. It's what beautiful accessories you use to make yourself shine, you know, and the house shine or whatever, but you're the house, just so we're clear, you're the house.
And it's sort of that outside in, inside out thing. Because I'm thinking of, in terms of like the structure of the home, the decor, and the Venusstarpoint, because it's a point and not a tangible thing. That's like the core where it's all really rooted and coming from. You know what I mean? That inspiration is really that personal Venusstarpoint. And then you're decorating and you're arranging your environment and your home in a way that shows who you are, right?
It's like, in its simplest terms, this is what really becoming authentic means. That, you know, like, this is my foundational being. This is how my energy desires to express itself. And this is where I can be my most heart-centered. Like the cosmic heartbeat is the Venusstarpoint. So how can you cosmically connect to that heartbeat? How can you get into flow and energetic, like, alignment with this beautiful experience? And that's what this life is about. But sometimes we bump into the couch so many times that we're like, I'm so bruised, I can't do it again, I quit. You know, like, but it's not meant to, you're not meant to quit. It's just, you're meant to go around it or figure out a new way. Like, how am I going to make this work for me?
Rearrange the furniture.
Rearrange the furniture.
Buy something new.
Buy something new.
Up level, right? That's what I do with my space. And it just like changed my whole energy by changing my space, you know?
And this is how important it is. It's like, when you know, oh my God, I'm at this, I'm at that. You know, it's like, now you can finally accept yourself for who you are and stop trying to like deny it, but own it and live it and love it and just like be all the things that you've been meaning to be, but you've been, you know, hesitating, terrified, all the things, whatever it is, story, drop the story. Who cares?
Yeah.
Go and do it.
Yeah. I feel like this group is going to be awesome because it's really, it's hard in the world. You know, you're dealing with all the things as a wife and a mother and all the tasks, and not everybody even in your world is as tapped in or tuned in or wants to be with these things energetically, astrologically, the human design. But it's really finding and connecting with, in community with those women who really are and do want to. And the littlest things, like you're struggling with something and someone pops in and says, you know, when we jump on a Vox or a call, and it's like, oh my gosh, I feel so funky this morning. Like, what is going on? And the other one, you know, chimes in with reminder of something that's happening, and also maybe a tip or a strategy for navigating the day. Right. And I'm like, oh, thank God. I don't know how many times we've helped each other in that way. And it feels like this group is that kind of container.
On this wavelength, like, this is the perfect time to say, you know, your energy is everything, and everything is energy. Your energy walks into a room, into a space before you even do. When you come home and you're in a bad mood, or like something happens during your day and like you get thrown off, like it affects, is a ripple effect, right? So there are people in your life who will always be that lower common denominator when it comes to energy. Their frequency is just like flatlined, okay? And it just is the way it is. But the beauty when you go to a space like this. So it's like, you don't know astrology. You're like, I don't know astrology. I don't know human design. Why am I going to join this space? Because you have energy and you need to know how to ride the waves of your own energy so that you can be less of that person who's pulled down. Like, I want you to think of, you go into your room, you set the temperature, okay? You set the temperature on the thermostat. That's the temperature that your house maintains throughout the day. But if you don't have a thermostat, you're just looking at the thermometer all the time. It's up and down like a toilet seat. There's no control. So you either choose to live in like thermostat land or thermometer land. And when you know, okay, I can set the tone and the temperature of my day based on the way I show up energetically. And even when you don't feel great, you only go down a couple degrees. You're not going to the basement. You're not going like this thermometer where it's like, boom, you plummet and up and down and no.
Yeah.
But that's what happens when you don't have a space to be like, help, I feel crazy today.
Yes.
Those emotions,
Yes.
all of that feeling you have, it's natural. You're not crazy. And I think the more we understand how to use this creative energy, which is emotion is just energy in motion. So if you feel the emotion, you understand more of how your emotions work. You become more creative and less destructive, and you feel more in control of how you're showing. It's literally the only thing you can control is how you respond, how you show up.
Oh my gosh. I tell my son that every day. Absolutely. And that's the thing also, you're setting that temperature for yourself. You're also setting it as mom and wife for the home, for your family. And so you can ride with what's happened, what they're going through when they come home from a bad day or a bad day at school, or they're struggling to try. And I find myself trying to hold that field. When my kid gets in the car, hold the field. When my kid gets in the car, and I'm going to see what his energy is from the day he's had and how to respond to that and help him work through that. But I have to hold the temperature because sometimes it can make me go, dang, man, like, and
normal. Then we could do a box and be like, I'm having this experience. Like this is where you need that, like it's the hotline. Like, how can I hop on the hotline to be like, somebody just listen to me because I need to feel heard because I'm not being heard in the other places. But just to finish on that is like the other important piece with your energy is when you can hold this level of this elevated, you're really connected to your highest level of frequency, it automatically brings people up who are flatlining, right? You cannot get dragged down by the flatliner. Like you will always be the person that brings that, they'll match your frequency. It's like attracts like, and you will not be attracted. It's a fact. You can go and Google this. You will never go down to the lower frequency. The lower frequency always matches the higher frequency. Be the higher frequency. Don't be the flatliner.
Absolutely. And I think that this, you're taking these really powerful tools that we've, come to love and use in our lives, like astrology and human design and all the things that are happening, and finding a way, which I think is so important, practical ways to utilize them in a day, like understanding the energies and reminding us, this isn't causing, it's affecting me, but I have a role in this. We're co-creators in our lives, and we can understand the weather and what's coming or what's happening in the moment, and then our own frequency, our own energy, and how we run, so that we can go, okay, like, how can I affect the change? How can I work with and co-create with this energy today? And maybe I need to check out. Maybe today's not my day to be too productive, but when you feel it, it's like, ooh, I'm all in today. I'm feeling it. Let's go. Even today, right? We weren't sure. And it was like, oh, this feels good. Boom, let's do it. And really kind of staying tuned into that, you can ride with the waves of the energy and co-create better. And we have a lot happening in the last quarter of this year. I mean, energetically, astrologically, everyone's talking about the eclipses that are coming, the Venusstarpoint change, which is huge. And it is all about, I think, like you said, the last square of Uranus and Saturn, after we've been having that, about shaking things up and stepping into doing it our own way, doing it different, trailblazing our own path for what feels right in alignment for us, and not having to even worry about where it's going to take you. Just be in the moment and do what feels best for you and right for you, and let the world respond to that, right? Let others respond.
Because like Uranus, I like to think of him as this rogue entrepreneur, right? And he's just like giving us the green light. He's like, it's the green light, guys. Like, this is the time. I've been trying to break you free from the system, Saturn. Like, I've been trying to show you a new way to be creative in your own right, but you also cannot leave Saturn behind. You just have to find a way to fall in love with the structure of the new, whatever it is you're building. And that's what I feel like this whole process for this last couple of years has given me is like creative freedom, but also I've been structuring things that I hate structure, but I realized that to be successful, there must be an element of structure in a way that really works. And, this celestial box and offering is literally about how are you going to create your new paradigm? How do you want to show up in this new way? But it's not just about the astrology. It's not just about the human design. I have had like 20 years of experience in personal development and growth and leadership trainings and seminars and like I can't even. I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on personal development, and I feel like I will never stop investing in it because it is the thing that always helps me to up level. And these small little investments you make in yourself, it's to help you become the version of yourself you've always known you were meant to become.
Yeah.
So like, it's perfect. Ride the coattails of somebody who paid a couple $100,000. Like, you don't need to do that. You just go work with the person who's done that.
Yes.
And that's me.
Yeah.
That's why you're in this.
Exactly.
The astrology and the human design. That's a bonus. Like, and I will also say the bonus too. One of the things that I've thrown in here to even like sweeten the pot even more, which is like, it's crazy, but I know how powerful this is going to be. And I know how big this is going to become. So I was like, I want to offer people 30 minutes private reading for the first 5 people who sign up to the program, or the membership, whatever you want to call it, like that. This is the bonus you will get to go deeper into your own vibes, your own freedom.
Awesome. That's an awesome deal because I think a lot of people, this could be great for the person who is a little bit more new to astrology or doesn't know much about human design. Like, they get that quick, really insight into themselves and then how to, join the group and learn more how to work with that. But you'll be talking about and using all these things, the astrology, the human design, the VSP, and the energy, but ultimately it's about flowing in the moment and the energy and learning how to understand our own energy and how to vibe at a frequency, that higher frequency, and then having this sort of support system and owning your power.
And knowing you're worthy enough as it is. There is no one you need to become, to do better, to like, you're not too old, you're not too fat, you're not too skinny, you're not too whatever. It doesn't matter. As you are, when you enter, when you say yes, you're ready.
Yeah.
When you say yes, it's like you're perfect. Everything is perfect. You're in the right time, in the right place. It's the perfect opportunity for you to finally say, like, I'm done trying to be somebody to feel worthy enough of this type of life or this type of experience or this type of business or this type of whatever partner, kid, whatever. We all have that. Like, I waited for this because it's better if I have this before I do this. No, now's the right time. There's no better time.
Yeah. And I love that you say that about the, being creative and free and having that creative freedom, but needing the structure, not throwing out Saturn, just doing it in your own way, creating a structure and a paradigm that works for you, a timing that works for you, that fits with your life, with your family. It's, consistency is key, but that's, having a framework is one thing, but when you can have all your ducks in a row and then you can have this freedom to work in a way that suits you. And then, okay, where to go to get things, right? You have a structure in terms of, what the framework maybe is, but how you move through it can be dynamic, can be different, can be spontaneous.
Every day. It can be fun and free. And you just know, like, right, I've got to clean out this. Did you think of Saturn as like that closet? It's like going to bust when you open the door. But like, if you actually hang up the jackets and organize the shoes and clear stuff out, you have more room for freedom and creativity.
And
to
you can
move
see,
things.
oh, what do I can see what I might want to wear. And then you
Or
have
like what no
choice.
longer fits, and it's time to, clear it out. Think
Right.
of like universe looks at your closets and goes like, I can't send this woman anything new. She's so jammed up in her closets. She's got no space for anything. So it's like the more we hold on to the things that it's time to be like, bye-bye, bye-bye, it doesn't make, there's just no room. So we're making room. Like this, it's going to be such an evolution. Like I can't even, from September to, or October to December, it's going to be such an evolution. So for those who say yes, they're just going to be like mind blown by the woman. When they come in, I'm going to make them take photos and post them in the group so that they can see it, the evolution, because they will not be the same person by December that they were when they entered in October. Throw in a couple of like BSP changes, throw in like some eclipses in there, and like, holy Dinah, like what's going to happen?
Yeah. And I think the other thing that I know there's a lot of, talk around in the astrological community too is, and in the metaphysical community, is holding the field and like being the eye of the storm, like really staying calm in the storm, because we're moving through such intense times, and it can seem stormy, it can seem crazy, it's emotional, like all the things. And really, I think having safe spaces like this and groups and places where you can really feel supported and tune into in those moments can help you stay calm and centered through the storm, and know that you are constantly coming back to self and what you need, and not being pulled into the spin or not being pulled into all the forces around you. That I love that you said, knowing that people will match your energy. The higher energy always gets matched. I don't know if I realize that, because I feel like sometimes our energy can get pulled down. But I think that if we know that, hey, I set the temperature and people will match my energy, that's your way of saying I have control over how I respond. And that's gonna affect my life and the people in it, and my ability to function and stay grounded and pursuing my dream or manifesting the things that are going to be good for me and my family and my relationships and my business. Would you say that?
And like, it's funny because I'm going to like disagree with the metaphysical and whatever community, because like, I don't think right now we can stay completely calm, grounded, and centered, as often as we'd like to, because it's so hairy. And I think it's because there's this surge of creative energy coming through and calling to many of us that's creating this like almost buzz in the body. It's like an electrical, I don't know who else is feeling it, but I know if I'm feeling it, other people are feeling it. And I think it's like a time to honor the buzz and to be like, hey, you know what? I feel a little like,
and it's okay. I agree. But maybe it's that sort of saying, directing that buzz, right?
Exactly.
Directing that buzz.
There's this constant conversation around manifestation and what it actually looks like. And yes, the process, and there is a process, like a human design, if you look at the body, there's actually a process. So, and we're going to talk about this within the group, but just like in Cole's notes, like there's a photon storm that gets started when you think about the thing. Okay. And that photon storm then sends an electrical like buzz through the body, and it hits this creative center, your emotional solar plexus is the most creative center within the human body. So you think about your solar plexus is where, in your chakra system, that's your will, your self-will, and your ability to, feel worthy enough of the thing. So it's like the photon storm happens, the buzz runs through the body, you get a feeling, and it's the feeling that triggers the action, because that feeling then hits the heart center, hits the will center, and says, okay, I desire this thing. But then there's this filter it goes through that says, but are you really worthy of that thing? And that's where it glitches out. And that's where people get stuck. And that's where people will go, you know what, you're right. I'm too fat. I'm too this. I'm too that. I can't do it. Blah, 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 blah. And just squashes the creative buzz. The buzz just goes like out into the toilet. And the unfortunate part about that is that's like old programming that needs to get cleared, released, and done with, so that you can figure out how to hold the frequency of that long enough so that it begins to attract. Because if you can figure out how to calibrate your heart, which is Venus, it's all Venus.
Yep.
How can I be in the luxury? How can I be in the beauty? How can I trust in myself? How can I know that this thing is coming to me no matter what? How can I just hold it long enough? Like, what if it works?
Yeah.
It's better than like, this is so, blah, blah, blah. It's not going to work for me, blah, blah. Whatever. Feel the difference in that. It's like huge.
Oh, yeah.
So as you hold the what if, the potentiality of it all, you're changing your calibration. Your heart is a super attractor. It is like a magnetic monopole, which only attracts. It does not repel. So if you can find a way to believe you're worthy enough, everything you've ever wanted, all the opportunities, the right people, the right experiences, the right everything will find you, because you're in the frequency of potentiality, not in the frequency of like, yep, I suck. I haven't got to that point yet. So, well, it's a different energy, and it legitimately, manifestation is about nothing more than energy. And how do I like manage my energy enough to believe that I am worthy of going out and creating a candle that somebody says, yeah, oh my God, I feel that. I can feel that through the screen. I need it. I want it because I know that this will be the thing that will help me hold my frequency. And it has nothing to do with anything more than like creatively, their Venus desire is that it wants to be surrounded in that kind of luxury and that kind of energy. That's all it is.
Yeah. And the universe is the same way. The universe doesn't say no. The universe is waiting for the space to say yes to you. It's waiting for you to reach that, so that they're saying yes, to match the frequency, So the universe doesn't say no. It's all giving. It's all like, that's love, right? So it's always yes, it's waiting, and you have to say yes. And it goes, great, here you go. So
it can't be any clearer to me that like Venus is at the helm of everything. Enough with this, like, this old way of doing things, that it has to be done this way or it won't work. Like, who cares? Whatever the system is, who cares? What if you just played in the what if space indefinitely? And you were like, well, what if this works? Like, when I made these, I was like, I don't know. What if it works? What if people love them? I'm going to be ready. My Saturn was like, well, they're going to love it. So we got to figure out how to make this thing work. So we got to do the structural stuff, right? Where Uranus was like, boom, fire, electric, creative. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. But there also needed this balance of like, okay, we need to make sure we have enough this on hand. We need to make sure we have this, and that it's good. So it's like, play in the creativity of it all, but also know that there's an element of how do you ground it in this 3D if you're one of these folks who gets the difference between the two.
Yes, that's so true. I think, wow. Yeah, I'm reveling that the idea of energy. I think it all comes down to energy. I mean, we're always talking about, the energy of the planets today, the energies of this, the frequencies of that.
We talked this morning, okay? Like, we box each other all the time. And you were like, I feel like, now look at you. I would never, would anyone on this, would they ever know you felt like that? I mean, this is how quickly we can turn it around. It just takes a call with the right person to be like, boom, now I'm energized and I'm good to go.
So true. Absolutely. Absolutely.
As quickly, you can also get sucked into someone's drama. But it's like, not my monkey, not my circus. How do I dump this monkey off back into that person's lap? Because this was theirs, not mine.
Yeah. And that was the part that was like, I was uncertain about or questioning, because sometimes if you surround, and maybe it's the power of that, if there are people who are flatlined or low energy, not getting sucked down to that. And you're saying you can't be, but you can be in some regards. You can allow yourself to be
in an instant. If you're like, and I don't know a person who isn't open and receptive to all the feels right now, because there are so many feels, and you shouldn't cut yourself off from the feels. But there's an element of learning how to protect your energy. We're going to talk about all that in the group, because it is so important. But it's like, how do I protect myself and keep this space, but still be open to sharing and engaging in energy with other people, but in a way that makes me feel comfortable, safe, secure, and understanding that like, ooh, I got a little dip there. What happened? So you step away from the person, you go into the washroom and you're like, wow, that was fun. Flush that. Bye. Like that wasn't mine. That was theirs.
Right.
And dump it. And dump it and do this and dump it and dump it. This is what the fizzle my shizzle bath bombs were for like, we need to fizzle your shizzle from someone who just like dropped their monkey off on your back. You're like, bye, take your monkey. Not my monkey, not my circus. It's literally like my favorite line on the planet.
Can I also say that one of the biggest things that is healing, I think it's a direct link to healing, and I think lines right into this, is humor. Like humor is
100%.
so life-saving. Like we find ourselves laughing when we feel our worst. We end up laughing. So you're crying and then you're laughing, and all of a sudden
I have tears now, always, because I just feel like, you know, there's so many crazy conversations that happen, but this is part of the joy of like letting it flow. And this is the one thing about Voxer. It's like, you can just let it flow. You can be like, blah, 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 blah. Like here's one of the, and I know we're getting close to time, but like as a joke, like Saturday, I'm going to do a market for the first time in forever, because I just want to be in the vibes of the people and talk to them about the products and like what they're all about and all the things. And so my girl was like, oh, where is it? I said, it's in Dildo. I said, what? I said, yeah, this is in the town called Dildo. And she goes, well, what's their claim to fame? I was like, well, actually, funny enough, you know, Jimmy Fallon sent one of his dudes there and it was a big thing. And they erected a dildo sign. They erected this sign in the Dildo Hill. And it is like the Hollywood sign, but it legitimately is dildo.
No way.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Newfoundland, I don't know who named some of these towns, but it's like dildo,
so funny.
Dildo. Come by chance. Like,
just go with it.
If you need humor, just come and visit. You know, you will have so much laughter, and people here, you know, it's a hard place to be. But the one thing that they have is this like resiliency and humor. Like they can find the funny in the craziest of things.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's huge. Humor is so healing. And yeah, to be able to be like, oh man, I'm in the shitter today. I don't know what's going on. And then someone, you know, cracks a joke and all of a sudden you're just lighter. And then you go, you know, what am I worried about?
I promise you, like this space will, like, you will be busting a gut. Like, it's just, it is what it is. It's crazy. There will
and your energy is so infectious, and you do really help lift, like, and inspire. And so I think that even you know, being in this group and doing lives or Q&As and things like that, like being in your energy, even through this computer, is always been so, you know, inspiring to me and lifted me, that I know that even though we're across the country and people will join from around the world, like you can create these, 2 countries, exactly. You can create this like connection and you can feel each other. Thank God for energy, because otherwise there would be no connection.
Right. It's like frequency. I mean, everything we know, there's like this whole theory that everything is light. Well, light is actually frequency. So if you think about it, like everything that is made up in this world is a frequency. And like, without going too deep and getting real weird, it's just like, if we think about how important us showing up really in our own energy, you know, we have this cosmic blueprint that no one else will ever have in our lifetime. They will not duplicate us. It just is impossible. Like your human design will duplicate for like 25,000 years. Like you'll be long dead by then. You'll be back as a butterfly by then or something. Right? Like who knows what you'll be. But like there's this element of, and I pulled 2 cards before we got on, because I was like, what do the people need? Because I always love cards. So creativity and crown chakra. And this is that I like to think of it as like the element of, you know, your highest, best version coming through you every day, saying, hey, what if we did this today? Hey, what if we did that today? And you listening really closely, because it will come to you in different ways. But like when it comes, what happened? What if you just moved on it? What if you just moved when it said, hey, what about this? And you just did it.
Yeah.
What you need a drink? Let's get a drink of water. I'm thirsty. And you just did it. And like, you just started doing the things that, you know, all the time. It's like, okay, go fold the laundry right now. And you're like, oh, I don't want to fold the laundry, but you fold the laundry, you get it done. And then it creates space for the next thing. So, I mean, at a bare minimum, this is some of the stuff you'll just learn in this group, because it's meant to be like, how can I help you feel liberated and closer to your highest and best version?
Yeah. And I love that. I love that you're bringing all of this beautiful, energy and into real tools and real ways to say, shift your energy. Here's ways to shift your energy and to tune into yourself and your own power. And this is going to be such an amazing group to be a part of, because you're going to make so many great friends and connections that are going to be there to support you going forward,
Ever. You will make friends that are just going to be your like forever people. And I can tell you even right now, like we all, those who will show up for this, you're the people that like your friends say they don't get it, but they're like, what's going on today? Like, and they come to you because they know, even though you might not know like everything, something, more than they know, and they'll come to you. But it's like, who do you go to for your support? And this is what I wanted to create, was a space for you, the people who are the people for everyone else. Who do you get to go to? Who do you get to fall back into when you're feeling wobbly and you're feeling uncertain and unsure and you're ready to give up and you're ready to quit? Where do you go to get that like place where I got you? Fall back. It's cool. Let it all go here. You can cry, you can scream, you can do your thing, you can share your wins, you can share your, triumphs and sorrows, all of it. It's just the place for you to like be authentically you and unravel from the expectations of that it has to look like this or you're doing something wrong. Like, no. Yeah. It doesn't have to look anyway. It has to look how you want it to look. And if you don't like how it's looking, you can change it. It's cool. You can change your mind. It's okay. Even though my husband says once you make the decision with the menu, you've got to stick with it. I'm like, but do you really? Wait, I don't want that. Come back. No. Like, it's funny. Change your mind. It's okay.
Okay. So you definitely want to say yes to the box. Yes to the celestial box for sure. And this will give them this candle, you'll give them the insights in the astrology and all the things of the energies happening for the month. And I know a lot of us who are into this stuff, we have our rituals. We do little new moon rituals, full moon rituals. We write our intentions and our gratitude, intentions, and those all can be a part of it. It sounds like, but for this is really a community of that in-between time too, to help us stay in 100%. The flow.
And we will do activation. So what I call an activation will be ceremony. Like it will be whatever we decide to call it, because I feel like it will evolve depending on who shows up. This is the other piece. So again, it will be so organically driven, and it will be, then it will meet the needs of the group. It will meet the needs of the women who show up, and it will meet you where you're at.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. So if you're vibing and you want to be in this energy, you want to be in this container, you want to say yes to this box and you want to join. And when are you starting? So this is starting now, right?
I mean, like anyone who's is in now, yes. Like, but I'm going to have a cutoff date. I just don't know when I want to cut it off, because the shipping thing is always a thing. But I want you to know, like those of you who are in Canada, US, shipping is free. I'm going to include the shipping, and it's $222 Canadian. Okay, so $222 Canadian, shipping included. You get your beautiful box. You get, as soon as you pay, you're in the group. Nice. And you're welcomed in with open arms, and it starts. And hopefully you're one of the ones who gets the reading as well. Bonus.
Awesome. Well, I'm super excited for this next venture of yours and all the beautiful things you're going to be doing. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I'm sure I'm going to have you back because, there's more stuff, and you're like,
and you're coming on mine, like, this is how we roll. We just
yes. And I wanted to have you on anyway to talk more about HD and, for my parents and astrology lovers who are also into HD. And so I know I'm going to have you back to talk about more of the things. We kind of have a list of all these great things we'd like to talk about, but you've been in this creative mode and creating this beautiful collection and box and offer. And I wanted to share it with everyone so that you can jump in now. Since we are in this pivotal time, now's the time, so say yes to the box and join Tara and us on this journey. It's going to be awesome. So best of luck. And I will definitely talk to you soon. I'll be voxing you later, girl.
Love it. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Thanks for listening, and I hope you gained some great astrology insight and inspiration from today's show. I'd love to hear, so drop me a comment or share in a review. Check out the show notes for all the details and links about today's episode, how you can connect with me on social or work with me directly. And don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. Oh, and for my moms out there, be sure to join my private Conscious Parenting with Astrology Moms group on Facebook. Come join a growing community of like-minded mamas supporting each other in the hardest job in the world with the help of astrology. Hope to see you over there. Take care and keep nurturing the nature, friends. I'll see you on the next episode.